We're here at the Icebergs Dining Room and Bar with the culinary director, Alex Prichard. Alex, you have had this exclusive role for 10 years. Can you tell us about your time here and the menu that you have?
Yeah, look, it's pretty good innings for a chef, 10 years. I'm obviously enjoying it here.
Yes.
Yeah, look, and really just love it. It's a phenomenal place to work. Obviously, the view helps. The brief for Icebergs overall, for a chef, it's one of the best briefs you could ever have. Leaves a lot of freedom, but it's still pretty grounding. Seaside Italo Oz, I guess, sums it up. I mean, it's food you're happy to eat by the ocean,
Yes.
You don't want anything too kind of rich and drowned in butters and creams and stuff like that. You want things to be light and fresh. You want to almost feel like if you want to sink in for a long lunch here and eat 10 courses, go for it. But you'll still get up afterwards and feel, I feel good. I want to dance or go for a swim.
Yeah. So what are you cooking for us today?
So we're going to start off simple classic Italian dish, but we do a little bit of Australian spin on it, throw in some pippies as well as vongole.
This is, you'd say, one of the most iconic dishes here at Bondi Icebergs Dining Room.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's a pretty classic Italian dish. Spaghetti Vongole. Yeah. It's not the same if you don't have the hand movement in it. Anto, how do we say it properly?
Vongole. Spaghetti Vongole, yes.
So you say it.
Spaghetti Vongole, mate.
Spaghetti Vongole.
So you don't need to do the hand movement.
No, you do, because we're Italian.
That's proper Italian.
That's how you pronounce it.
You don't need to do the words.
Spaghetti Vongole.
Vongole.
Spaghetti Vongole.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thanks. I think we've got it right now.
We do put quite a lot of effort into trying to make it the best version of a spaghetti vongole anyone's had.
And where do you start with?
Simple quality, really. Like the guys here extrude the pasta in-house with Australian semolina, which is pretty rare. The semolina all comes from Ballatta Gold up near Tamworth, where they farm it. And then we extrude all the pasta in-house every week. Then, mixture of vongole and pippies.
Where do the pippies come from?
These come from Goolwa in South Australia. So it's actually pretty fascinating when you see the guys out there harvesting on the beach. You end up with these really, really kind of big islander guys. They kind of wade out into the water and they dig these giant nets into the sand and kind of slowly walk backwards, and by the end of it, the ocean washes all the sand out.
Wow.
They've got these nets filled with pippies, yeah. To start off with, we've got a pan. We're going to pop it on a kind of medium heat. We'll throw in a little bit of olive oil. And so the next stage we kind of do is what they call soffritto, so basically the base of the pasta. So we've got a bit of garlic, anchovy, and a little bit of chili. But we kind of just want to get all those aromas coming out of it and get that oil really, really quite fragrant. And so once that oil's kind of fragrant, you can see here that kind of medium heat. It's starting to fry off in it, but it's not really caramelizing. That's what we're kind of searching for. You don't want to burn the garlic. You definitely don't want to caramelize it. You just want to really start to get those aromas going. And so you can see how the kind of color of that chili is starting to leach out into the oil a little bit. Then what we're going to do is pop our vongole and ippies in, and then we'll just go in with a little bit of white wine. And that'll kind of deglaze the pan, and see how it's kind of starting to bubble underneath?
Yeah.
What that'll do is as those clams heat up inside, the seawater that's left in them will slowly turn to steam and kind of force them to open up. You can see them. Yeah, they almost end up dancing in the pan.
It's a bit of science, isn't it? Like when the seawater comes and opens it, then it's like...
And then one of the other things we do that I definitely recommend doing at home, we keep the little bowl on the side here, so that when they open up, we pull them out of the pan kind of one by one, because we don't want them to overcook.
Okay.
You want all those juices to end up in the pan, but you don't want these clams to end up kind of rubbery and overcooked. So as they fully open, we'll slowly just remove them out and pop them in the bowl. Like anything, in Mother Nature, there's no firm rule of thumb. So like that one there just popped all the way. These ones here that have been like kind of halfway open for a little bit now, they might not actually open all the way, but as long as they're opened up, and because we toss it back through the sauce, we know they're going to be cooked. A bit of fish stock, which is going to pop in because that wine's now reduced.
That seemed to make a few more pops, did it? Or not?
Yeah, it's just kind of that little bit more steam in the pan. And then we'll take our pasta and just drop it in the pasta boiler.
So then you've just got the sauce without the pippies in it?
Yeah, so that's got the white wine reduced, the garlic, chili, anchovy, the fish stock, and then we just go in with a touch of the pasta water. And what that does is it introduces a little bit of the starch from the actual pasta cooking. And that'll help to kind of really thicken and emulsify your sauce up. Then we'll go in with our pasta. You want to undercook that pasta in the water a little bit So it gets its last chance to cook kind of in the pan. And the reason for that is that last bit of cooking, it brings out a bit of starch from the pasta into this actual pan.
How do you know when pasta's done? I know it's like a very simple question.
See how that's now started to soften, the colour's changed a little bit. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Do you put a timer on it?
Yeah, we usually do. So this one, because it's fresh, probably about 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
But then also, it means when it's cooking that last little bit of the pasta, it's absorbing a bit of this sauce. So the actual pasta itself ends up tasting more like the sauce. That's just a little bit more of the fish stock still, just because we want quite a bit of that sauce in there. And then what we're going to do is go in with a good amount of olive oil. And we want to just really start to quite vigorously mix that. And the starch from that pasta water will start to kind of emulsify that oil into the sauce. Ends up quite, see how it's kind of got a bit thicker now, and a little bit glazy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really looking for. We're going with a touch of lemon juice, a little bit of salt. Not too much salt, because the pippies obviously have a bit of salt water coming out of them. And then quite a bit of just really finely sliced parsley. And then we'll just give this one last mix. Take it off the heat. It's just kind of tasting that sauce to see where the balance is. Good, it's salty, it's got a little bit of lemon, it's got a kick of spice. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. And you see how the sauce is kind of sticking to the pasta.
Yeah, amazing.
It almost glazes the pasta. That's really what we're looking for. So you can see how it kind of sticks to the outside of the pasta. You've got the parsley in there. So now we've got this pasta ready. We'll just bring it over here to where we're going to plate it. And you kind of just pull it up.
So it was amazing.
Yeah.
Good start. I'm in.
And we'll give it a little twirl there. Just to make it form a nice kind of nest in the center of the plate.
What is the art to doing the 12?
So you lift it up out of the pan, and then in the corner of the pan, you just kind of keep twirling it round and round until you end up with a nice little oval of pasta. And we'll pop these clams and pippies just on the top here.
Smells sensational.
And then to the last step, we've got some botaga here. So botaga is a cured sea mullet roe. And so we just grate a little bit of that over the top, and it kind of gives it that little bit of kind of salty extract of the ocean. A little bit of umami.
It's final swim in the ocean.
Yeah, final swim in the ocean is a great way of putting it.
That looks sensational.